John Cabral, the newest hire, I guess, to Hurricane Radio. And you and I kind of know each other. We had a previous relationship as students in the professional writing program at UMass Dartmouth.
That's right.
Right. And I graduated in May. You graduated as well?
No. You probably shouldn't start the interview that way.
Okay.
No, it just, things didn't really pan out for me with that. I was looking to get into broadcasting, and the assistantship was a way for me to get into the broadcasting end of things, because I had a graduate assistantship in the athletic department, which let me do some games. The classes I did, they were helpful. I did learn some things, but I just didn't have the same zeal for it that you had and that a lot of our successful classmates had.
And I was zealous.
Yes, absolutely. That's the Pete Zealous Daily is what PZD is what I've always called you.
I was a zealous student.
That's right.
But it's good in a way, though, because you've kind of stumbled upon this. How did you find out about it to begin with?
Actually, the way I found out about it was initially when the business plan was to go ahead with the basketball franchise in the PBL. That was something that jumped out at me for a couple of reasons. One, because my roommate at the time was interested in playing for the team, and I was interested in doing play-by-play broadcasts for the team because I've done a lot of basketball broadcasting for UMass Dartmouth over the last 5 years, and that's something I really, really enjoy and would like to do at a higher level, and I saw that as an excellent avenue to go in that direction. And I was hoping that the PBL, at least on paper, looked like a better league than the ABA, which is one that I have a little bit of work experience with as well, and I thought that had a real chance to take off here. Obviously that didn't end up working out, but that was how I ended up following the Hurricane on Facebook, and I kind of watched this whole drama unfold online. It's incredible just how things have played out through different Fall River sites and through Facebook and the newspapers as the summer has dragged on. And the Hurricane Radio idea, I liked. I was skeptical at the beginning, but I kept an ear open, and the more and more I heard about it, the more I wanted to give it a shot, and here I am.
Great. And as we're talking about first impressions, what was your experience like first walking into this building here?
It was one of the funniest experiences I've had recently and maybe ever. I still wasn't really sure if I wanted to come in and try to do this or not, and I knew that because I had seen the Craigslist postings, I had seen the calls to arms on Facebook. I knew he was going to have an outpouring. Anytime you offer people who aren't in media opportunities to get media exposure, people cling to it immediately. So I didn't know if he had any way of determining signal to noise. Was it just the first 10 people that walked in here got shows, or was he just going to take care of his friends? I didn't really know, but I didn't see any way that me just coming from the outside would be able to walk into an opportunity. But I spoke to some friends that I have that live in this area, and I knew that Mike had been in some trouble before that, and I said, should I get involved with this guy? And people said, don't. You'd be stupid to dismiss him out of hand. When he gets an idea, he goes with it, and this sounds like an idea that could potentially work. And so he said, at the very least, you have to go meet this guy and see what he's about. If nothing else, you've got to meet him and tell us what happens when you meet him. So I came in here, and you can read about it on the blog. I came in, first of all, I'm not from Fall River, so I couldn't find this place for the life of me. And
Hyannis, you're from the Cape, right?
I'm from the Cape, from Hyannis, right? And we have different streets, winding ones, hills, wide, not as much traffic. I can U-turn my way out of trouble whenever I want. Here, you get the wrong way on a one-way and you're spinning around. Anyway, so I found the block, and I finally said, all right, I can't find this place from the street. I'm just going to park, get out on foot, and see what I can find here. And so I walked up and down the sidewalk a couple times, couldn't find the place, and then I looked and I saw that stupid sign you guys have got in the window, the Hurricane Radio poster board with the balloons on it.
Deflated balloons at that.
They were inflated at the time.
Oh, were they? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I can attest that at one time they were in fact inflated. And so I came up the stairs, had no idea what was going to be upstairs. And I got up here, and all the doors were unlocked. I couldn't hear anything, I couldn't see anything. And I'm walking down the hallways, and I'm looking at the conference room behind me, nothing in there. I looked in this room here where we're shooting this interview, there was nothing here, and I was just about to leave, and I just happened to catch a glimpse of this door out to our right that you'll see in the walkthrough. was open, and I looked down at the end of the hall, and I saw somebody at the end of the hall, and I just figured that it had to have been Mike. It didn't make sense that it would be anybody else if there was only going to be one person here. And the only picture I'd ever seen of Mike is just a little thumbnail of the one that you see on his Facebook. And so, there I was, complete stranger, calling out Mike, and I'm here in his office. And he invited me down the hall, and we sat down, and we started to talk from there. That was the first time that I met Mike.
And that first time you met Mike, what did you think of the Hurricane in person, aside from the Hurricane in print or online?
I didn't really know what to make of him, and to be honest with you, I really still don't at this point. I've only spoken with him in person a few times. He's certainly very entertaining,
Sure.
And he's been straight shooting, as you'll see in the interview that you've done with him, Pete. But he was, it was refreshing. Two things: somebody that has a very realistic understanding of the broadcast industry, which he absolutely does, and secondly, a guy. It seems like every upstart that gets marketed online promises everybody everything and is going to get you rich quick. And he was very upfront with me that he doesn't have money to pay me and can't promise that there's any future in this at all. And for him to acknowledge that up front really got me to tune in and listen to him maybe more than I would have otherwise. Because I know that we're up against a lot. Anytime you try to do something new, and anytime you try to shake up the natural order of things here in a city or in any market, it's going to be difficult. So he had offered me an opportunity to buy some airtime on Saturdays, and I was thinking maybe I would do that with a friend of mine, and I kind of left it at that because I needed to sock away some cash to really strongly consider it and come up with a plan for the show if I was going to actually be investing in it, rather than have it be either something I did for free or got paid to do. But literally overnight, I don't know if you got to him or what the story was, he decided he wanted me to do 7 to 9 on weekdays, and I decided to give it a shot.
So let's get into that here now then. What can we expect to hear 7 to 9 on weekdays? What's the show going to be like?
The show is going to be, what I can tell you now is the show will be the show I wish you all, everybody, when you watch TV, when you listen to the radio, you have those moments where people are on there, people are talking, and they're either not saying what you think, or people are, they're trying to get a rise out of you with the things that they're saying. You just want to reach through the speaker and grab the guy on the other end, or you want to just yell, and so that they'll finally smarten up and hear what you have to say. I find that a lot of times when I'm listening to a radio show, and I do listen to a lot of different radio shows, they're always missing a point. There's something that should be in the discussion that isn't there, and I want to try to have the show that really takes every single perspective into consideration when I talk about something, to try to remember all the details, to try to be as well researched as possible. I'm not going to be showing up here at 6:59 in my pajamas with a 3-day beard trying to do the show. I'm going to really make a genuine effort to be in here, sitting down, prepping, and having some stuff ready to go, and figuring out what listeners and viewers want me to talk about.
Do you think it'll succeed?
I don't know.
And not just your show, but the whole internet radio venture? And if yes, then what will it make it succeed?
Well, there's Hurricane Radio, the station, and then there's the concept of internet radio. I think in some form, internet radio will eventually supplant at least AM radio, if not all of terrestrial radio. It makes more sense that way. With the iTunes model is just going to continue to expand into everything else. The real question is, do we have everything it takes to be successful here, and are we too early to the party? Are we too far ahead of the curve? And I think those questions are still to be determined, but I think we have a real shot, and I think as long as we can get sponsors to believe in us, we certainly have the drive here internally to keep this going. I don't think you're going to see anybody that's putting in these long nights in here right now jump ship if we have a bad week or two. So that part I feel very good about.
And definitely exciting along the way. Right?
Definitely.
Great. All right. Thank you, John.
Thank you.